What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Shopper channel, coming to you with a Wednesday Hump Day edition of NBA Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. We've had a blue background for a majority of this show. Now we've had an orange background here recently, and we're still going to have orange on the lovely spots here, but we got green going because of PortfolioEV, and I have an amazing deal going for you guys right now here with Odd Shopper. If you follow our channel, you've probably seen PortfolioEV showing up more and more and more, and why? Because it's profitable. It is back-tested profitable. It is the best tool in the betting industry. And right now, I have 14 spots for anybody who signs up here using code Lindy14 at the link below. You're going to sign up at the link below and get a 14-day trial of PortfolioEV. It is the best tool in the industry. Flash to the next screen. If you need proof, well, we've got so many subs. They can show it to you right here. This is just from the last 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks, we've had an unbelievable amount of people who have shown up, utilized the PortfolioEV tool, and just printed. If you follow Greg Ehrenberg on X, if you follow Laffy, Dave Lochran over on X, you have a great opportunity to check great content from them in the PortfolioEV streets, and not something that I've gotten to do a ton of myself, but it's coming. We're going to be covering more PortfolioEV going forward, and if you want to check it out for 14 days and see exactly what I'm talking about, there are 14 spots using code Lindy14. I'll talk about it at the halfway point here of this program here as well, once we get to the lock section, that is. But Lindy14 at the link below. Visit oddshopper.com, download the app, or again, Lindy14. Get a 14-day trial when you sign up with the weekly version. That's $29.95 off if you want to get the monthly version and just extend it there. That is cool as well. Awesome. Great. Grand. We got ourselves 9 games here on Wednesday. I'm excited. You're excited. We're all excited. Got a lot of plays, but first, let's get the leans out of the way. We begin Charlotte at Atlanta. I'm going Charlotte plus 8.5 because how does one back Charlotte in times such as these? The answer is you don't. I'm happy to pass on anything here purely because Trae Young, questionable. It would suck to have him. And then Karis LeVert, questionable. Both of them sat last game. We'll see what happens to their status this time around. Next up, Philly at Toronto. Jakob Poeltl over 24.5 points plus rebounds. It's minus 115 at Bet365 at open. I think we can get a little bit better than that, but Scotty Barnes Q tag, that is sitting there staring us directly in the face. But it's hard to justify what the minutes are going to be for him in some of these spots. As for the Sixers on the other side, Grimes, he was supposed to be limited, and then on a back-to-back gets upper 30s minutes out of the middle of nowhere. I have no idea what to make of his minutes, but Oubre questionable, Drummond questionable. I think there's going to be something here that we mine out from a prop perspective. Next up, LAC at Miami in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Again, I love this lean configuration because we can talk through the stuff that isn't as pertinent, that aren't going to be plays on this video. It doesn't mean that it can't be plays in the future. It doesn't mean that there aren't props that I'm interested. Just talked about this one, but this is a disgusting game environment. 212.5, and I'm actually interested in the under. I've got this closer to 208.5. Not enough for it to be a play when you factor in the VIG here at minus 112, best available in that under 212.5. But Kawhi on a back-to-back, I don't think he plays. Amir Coffey steps into more minutes. Kind of a weird one to break down, so I'm going to bypass it. Phoenix at Houston. I thought I would end up on a play here. I thought maybe Phoenix plus 4, but Phoenix money line actually looks better. They're at plus 145. I think if it gets to plus 155, you're going to click that button. But as for right now, I really don't trust Houston. We saw them outperform against Orlando, got tons of closing line value for no reason the other night because Orlando still couldn't knock down shots. Didn't even score 90 points. Didn't even score 85 points, I think, in that game. But watched too much of it. It hurt my eyes. Houston is really going to slow down the pace. Tari Eason, Jabari Smith started together in that one. Very surprising. We'll see what Fred VanVleet's his status is for this one. And last up, the Knicks at Portland. And I would say out of the 5 plays that are on your screen right now, this is the one that I'm the most interested in. There's just no prop lines for it here night before. Miles McBride, he had been shooting the ball horrifically and then, well, steps into 34 and 32 minutes, goes up for 20 plus last time out. I think his adjusted lines, again, it opened at 12.5, actually 11.5. It opened, heavy VIG on the over. People played it, got to 12.5, sat there all day last time out. He ends up going for the 20 plus. I'm curious where this one opens against Portland because it's not exactly a high pace matchup, but Miles McBride, no Jalen Brunson here for the foreseeable future. He will continue to be a pivotal part, and we know Tibbs really likes to push his starter minutes for just about anybody. And now, friends, we begin the like and lock portion of the program. There are no locks that exist here on today's board, but out of the 9 games, I do have 4 plays that will break down. Oklahoma City, the first of them. They're getting 4.5 points against the Boston Celtics. So let's break down the injury situation because it's obviously a very big part of this. Tatum and Porzingis are questionable. As for OKC, Jalen Williams out. Right hip strain. Sounds like it's not that severe, but they already ruled him out for this game. Probably going to miss another one at least here going forward, but avoided a major like a hip pointer or something that could have kept him out. So I think really good news for OKC. They also had a back-to-back against Denver, and when you get those second legs of back-to-backs, unforeseeable things can happen. Like, I don't know, we end up getting closing line value on OKC. -8.5 closes, 9.5, 10 with Aaron Gordon getting ruled out. And guess what? They lose outright to Denver. So stuff like that is going to happen. CLV is not the say-all, end-all, but it's always what you really want to get here with some of these spreads. And that being said, we have inside of -110, -108 at FanDuel.com, +4.5 OKC. I would have this at +4.5 if both Porzingis and Tatum were in. Now, I don't think we get both of them in. And in fact, Porzingis, I know producer Jacob was trying to talk to me about it the other night, but I've been all over the place, don't mind me. But Porzingis has had a bunch of issues with this illness, trying to come back from it. And it's been far more intense than what he anticipated or the Celtics anticipated. I still don't think you get a full workload out of him here, but wanted to break this down in some kind of a capacity where, well, I can at least like middle it. You're getting 4.5 points with SGA, Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Hartenstein, Lou Dort, an amazing OKC bench. Not to say Boston doesn't. Peyton Pritchard, he's been a print fest for us this season. Thank God I didn't bet him last game. That would have hurt my feelings. Don't know where he went on that one, but I know where we're going here. And we're snagging 4.5 points with the best team in the West when healthy. Now, Jalen Williams, yes, that's a big omission. But if you get Tatum somehow out of this one, I doubt you do. But if you somehow get it, this is a pick'em type game where you're getting 4.5 right now. Looked at the money line at +148. I think we're better off just taking the points and letting it ride. My second play for you, and it is opposite day, my friends. The Utah Jazz, 13-point dogs heading into Memphis, walking in Memphis. And wouldn't you know, I will be on the over of this basketball game. You heard me. I've been on the Memphis unders ad nauseum. But John Morant in his last 5 games, you know what's happened every single time? The game has gone under. Now, that's right. We're talking the Phoenix overtime thriller that we had, almost 300 points. And yeah, I did play the under of that one. It is what it is. I'm here not for results-based. I am here to make the best decisions possible. And this is an overcorrection by the marketplace. Now, Utah, we have so many walking pieces that it's so hard to predict who's going to be in playing what minutes. Do they have to roll out Lauri Markkanen because of these rest issues? Jordan Clarkson, Jaden Springer, both questionable for this game as well. But Collier, Sexton, Collins, Kessler, we're getting a lot of the core pieces from Utah in already. And Memphis on the other side, yes, no Jaren Jackson Jr., but Zach Edey questionable. If you end up out, you're going to look at Brandon Clark, who's questionable as well, potentially starting. And if not him, game goes small and is going to fly in this spot. This closer to 245.5, which, I mean, recently we would see like 249.5, and of course I'd be on the under. But this market is corrected for what's happened with John Morant on the floor recently. I like the over 241.5. Wild times. Also wild times, PortfolioEV in effect on Lindy's. Yeah, you heard me. It's in effect on Lindy's. Lindy 1-4 14-day trial going right now. If you go to the link below and you sign up at PortfolioEV for the best tool in the entire betting space, there are 14 spots available on this program today. Just 14. So you're going to want to hurry. As soon as those get eaten up, they are done. You have 14 people who can sign up for this deal at the weekly rate. Lindy14 is your promo code that you'll sign up for. And trust me, there are tutorials and testimonials and everything here on the Odd Shopper channel to help you use that tool no matter where you live. We have access for it in California for Onyx Odds and Flip and Rebet and all these great sweepstakes books and social sports books that are available to you. We got Hug Picks, I'm making enough money to pay my mortgage. That's beautiful to see. Hutch Boy, who's been one of the absolute goats of the Portfolio EV train, he's extended his family's vacation multiple times. There's so many amazing ways that this tool will go to work for you immediately. Follow Dave Lochran on Twitter. Follow Greg Ehrenberg on Twitter. Follow myself as I break down more stuff in the Onyx odds situations here as well. But Lindy14 is the code, and that is 14 days of a trial completely free to you as long as you sign up for the weekly package. It'll take $29.95 off of your second week. The first week is always free if you've never checked out Portfolio EV. So sign up at the link below, code Lindy14. Keep this program rolling, and let's keep it rolling, friends, with profit in the Portfolio EV streets. Would love to see you there. Would love to have you on board. Alrighty, 2 more games. Let's get to it. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell as we go as well. Again, Lindy14, that is the code. We'll see if we get to run it back tomorrow, but the higher ups, they're the ones who are in control, so I'd take advantage of it now. You're going to like what you see. Again, completely free for a 14-day trial. You put your bankroll in, lots of videos, and if you have questions, all have answers at Eric Lindquist. You can hit me up there. But Dallas, 5.5 points that they're getting, taking on San Antonio, the Battle of Texas. Doesn't look as good. The battle actually goes through Houston, if we're being completely honest. But these two teams, yeah, no Victor Wembanyama, obviously. San Antonio, Keldon Johnson, Stephon Castle. You got some interesting guys that are still putting up some major points on the San Antonio side. And notice I didn't even say Devin Vassell, who's questionable. Jeremy Sohan, who's questionable. But the Dallas side, they're way more interesting. And why is that? Bodies. Now, we're not talking body count. This isn't that ridiculous. I don't even want to get into that, but we've got ourselves an interesting one here when it comes to Dallas. And because the body count is low, you've got Lively out, Kai Jones out, Jaden Hardy out, Daniel Gafford out, Anthony Davis out. Who is active for this one, you ask? Well, you're going to get Max Christie, Klay Thompson, Najee Marshall for sure, Dwight Powell, Caleb Martin, Kessler Edwards, Spencer Dinwiddie for sure. That's 7. But then you've got 3 Q tags, so 10 potential bodies, but a chance of only 8 playing. One of those Q tags would have to play through it. We're talking PJ Washington, Brandon Williams, and Dante Exum. But look at where some of these positions are. Caleb Martin off the bench can't really play massive minutes here. He's still limited under 20. Dwight Powell at the center position. Kessler Edwards, more of a power forward center type. Spencer Dinwiddie, a guard. We don't have a ton of wings out there, and that leads me to Max Christie, Klay Thompson, Najee Marshall, your main wings here, in addition to Dante Exum, who is questionable and can't play over 24, 25 minutes anyway. That's all leading me to Max Christie here. This is not a team that can really tank if you're Dallas. First off, Nico Harrison has not really allowed them to because, we got to play well now. You're never going to be the same again. It just is what it is. But Anthony Davis is going to come back eventually. And also, they're 33 and 33. They're a good enough team that they can't really tank and have anything good happen for them. They can't get themselves enough ping pong balls to potentially jump into Cooper Flag lottery type. Like, they really can't even do it. So they're going to play every game straight up. And Max Christie is a young burgeoning player that, third-year Laker that obviously got moved in the Anthony Davis and Luka Doncic trade, but he's got to play massive minutes for them. Played 27, 36 here recently. I think we see more of the upper minutes range. And then if Exum ends up being one of those guys out, it looks even better because he'll be in upper 30 minutes immediately. So Max Christie, 15 plus points. Now, there are some opening numbers here inside of minus 115. You got to jump on some of those. It started in the pick'em streets here where the numbers dropped first, which is so weird. Can't even tell you how weird that is. But Max Christie, 15 plus points. The lean like that is actually going here because as soon as we are off this, I will be placing it into the Discord. But again, got a little different format with the lean section first, but this is definitely on the card. Last game of the night, and the not just because I'm a Timberwolves fan, but I think it's the main event of the night outside of the OKC. I mean, OKC, Celtics, and Minnesota Denver in the same night. It's going to be an awesome NBA season. Famous last words. But Minnesota, we're running back the playoff series that was Minnesota burgeoning and then taking on that Dallas team that is now in shambles. Minnesota plus 3.5 at Denver. Denver back-to-back in OKC. Amazing second win. Jamal Murray really showed out. That was really the Jamal Murray, hey, is he okay? Well, he was not okay against Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Jaden McDaniels' defense in that playoff series last season. We'll see how it looks this time around, but Minnesota has Rudy Gobert questionable for this one. It's injury maintenance still. He is good with the low back, I think, but it would be nice to roll him out there for a couple of minutes here because Julius Randle, this is a guy who should have every advantage in this game. He gets 6'10" Michael Porter Jr., who doesn't like the defense very much. And Julius Randle creating there, making Jokic work in the pick and roll. I think this is going to be a fun spot and a different formation. Obviously, Karl Anthony Towns was part of this Minnesota team. You ended up benching him a couple of times for Naz Reid in closing lineups last year. Don't think that's going to be the case here for Julius Randle. Should be closing in almost all circumstances here, but Dante DiVincenzo playing well off the bench. We have a perfectly healthy team outside of the Rudy Gobert question mark. As for Denver, even though they've got a number of pieces back into the mix, Russell Westbrook is out there and healthy. Hunter Tyson, nobody really cares about. Jalen Pickett, nobody really cares about. But Aaron Gordon is doubtful and not going to play in this one, and that is such a gigantic deal to me in the handicap because defensively, that would have been your guy for Julius Randle. But no, this is probably going to be a Julius Randle prop spot for me, which is just insane to say because I hate him. But anyway, Minnesota, we're playing them right now. Plus 3.5, minus 108 on FanDuel. Inside of minus 110 again. Oh, we got a couple of those where it's just inside of the standard juice. It feels good. Let's fire it up, Minnesota. Let's get back on the spreads train because, well, they've sucked the last 2 days. And that does it for a quick and easy edition of NBA Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Again, all of these sub 20 minutes when we shore up the leans, that's for sure. Hopefully you enjoy that. I think a lot of you have enjoyed the process here, but 9 games in the association. Hit that like button for me. Lindy 14, the first 14 of you, I think I did that. First 14 of you that take advantage of that down below are going to be happy. 14-day free trial when you sign up for the weekly. Again, it'll take $29.95 off that second week. The first week, anytime you sign up here at PortfolioEV, that is completely free. Come see the power of the tools down below in the video description box below. Alrighty, y'all. Thank you, producer Jacob. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets on Wednesday.